Welcome to Fox 54's Week in Review. I'm Kenesha Dees, here to get you caught up to date with the past 7 days in local news. It's a service you'll only get here on Fox 54 Plus. Children reported missing here in North Alabama, found hundreds of miles away in Wyoming. What we know about the child abduction case still developing as we speak. We're taking a look at the skyrocketing costs of eggs, and it's no Yolking matter. What's the cause? Who might be to blame? And how long will it last? We take those questions to local grocers. And a look at comfort food. When a local barbecue joint burned down, the community came up with a wealth of support. We'll take you to the recent fundraiser. All this and so much more is still ahead. This week's top story involves the abrupt closure of a Huntsville preparatory school focusing on children with ADHD and other developmental education needs. The closure was shrouded in doubt and what some parents call outright lies. As the school year wears on, those parents are left wondering how their kid will stay up to speed with their coursework.
This building you see behind me was Huntsville College Preparatory School. As you can see, students and teachers nowhere to be found. It's because this school is now closed. Fox 54 has been investigating the circumstances that has put dozens of local families in a bind. The signs of trouble date to January 25th. That's when parents were told that a pipe had burst, causing flooding issues in the building. The notification came from Principal Monique Griffin, who is also an owner of the school. The next day, according to one parent we spoke with, families were informed that the building escaped serious damage, but that students could not return just yet. More delays. A day later, Griffin told parents the repair work was completed, but testing and checks weren't yet finished. Classes were postponed again. Students now scheduled to return Wednesday, January 29th. And there were more messages, more canceled classes. Operators added this wrinkle. Utilities hadn't been reconnected because of a paperwork problem supposedly linked to the transfer of school ownership sometime in the past. Now they say the school had to pay a $14,000 deposit to get service straightened out. Parents were told school was unlikely to restart until early February. That's when administrators dropped a new bombshell. They needed to find an entirely new building, something smaller. Parents also tell us they learned there were issues paying teachers and other staff. Until things got settled, their kids would need to attend virtual school for at least a couple of weeks. In just the past 24 hours, those financial issues bubbled up in full. Despite denials from the owners regarding financial troubles, parents were formally notified the closure was permanent. The parent we spoke with told us, quote, "I wasn't expecting this at all, and it's just kind of upsetting to know that they told us one thing and now I don't know what the truth is. As parents in the middle of this school year and the middle of the week, we have to figure out where are they going to go next." We've tried to reach Monique Griffin, but have not heard back from her.
The owner of the building that was home to a now closed private school tells Fox 54 the school administration was telling some tales. The landlord refuting their claims of a busted pipe that was allegedly to blame for an initial shutdown last month. Parents were told then that classes were canceled at Huntsville College Preparatory School because of the would-be leak, a move that was supposed to be temporary. But today, the building's owner told us the pipe problem never happened. He also shared that the school's owners had not paid rent in some time. Parents have been left with more questions than answers after learning the school is now permanently closed. The parents of a former student spoke with us about the warning signs he wished he'd noticed.
When I heard that, teachers' checks were bouncing about a month or two ago, and then they fired one teacher for just no apparent reason, you could kind of feel something was going on, but you thought things were improving too, because you would stay connected, but then it just, you were given hope of the situation that they were going to figure it out.
Parents came together tonight to discuss what to do in a meeting. A Fox 54 producer was allowed to attend and was asked not to record. During this meeting, parents worked together to try and decide how and where their child could best learn and how to get tuition they paid for refunded. One parent who attended the meeting spoke with Fox 54 hours before and told us that tuition checks were being accepted still as of Monday.
You cash the checks on Monday. Shut the school down on Tuesday. Let's kick the can down the road and not answer anybody. Some kids can't even get their own transcripts. Some kids were getting ready to advance to the next level to graduate.
Parents have been asked to bring select electronic items back to the school on Saturday, but some say they will wait till they receive a refund. We'll continue to follow you and follow this story and give you updates about the story as it develops.
And we're learning a juvenile is involved in the shooting outside of Nash's Barbecue over the weekend. 18-year-old Deshaun Lewis was shot in the parking lot of the business around midnight Saturday night. He was transported to the hospital where he died from his injuries. Decatur police hosted a press conference this afternoon to share the latest details of the investigation. They say that a juvenile suspect turned themselves into police just before 10 a.m. this morning.
It's tragic because it's two juveniles. One was 18, but he's still a kid. At any time that you have kids that are involved in any type of gun violence, they don't know the consequences of what's going to be life-altering changes for not only themselves and their families involved. That's what's tragic about it, and that's where my condolences and heart goes out to both sides of the families.
Chief Pinion says the juvenile will be charged with murder and transferred to a detention facility. The investigation is ongoing.
It's been more than 1 week since the third-party review of the Decatur Police Department was released, and people are still asking questions. In fact, they feel like there are more unanswered questions. Many wondering how the department plans to move forward in terms of leadership. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman sits down with Decatur Chief of Police Todd Pinion to talk about what changes are being made.
Many community members have picked up on Chief Todd Pinion's poor communication mentioned in the third-party review on the Decatur Police Department.
Pinion also mentioned that he's not a public speaker. I'm sorry, you're chief.
It's not your job to be friendly, but it is your job to communicate with the citizens of the city that you are the police chief of and let them know what is going on.
And they're also calling for a change at the helm.
It's time for new leadership. It's time for people to come in that know what they're doing.
Well, I think the only way to rectify this situation is to remove it. You know, start fresh, start with something new.
But Pinion has other plans. How confident are you that you are going to be able to continue to lead the Decatur Police Department to become a better police department for their residents?
I'm confident. Obviously, if I wasn't, I would have stepped down, a long time ago.
And he says trust is the equity for the community. Where do you believe the relationship stands between DPD and the community now?
I think that depends on who you talk to. For a lot of this is a large community here, right? And that's what's great about this city is we have a very diverse city that have many different thoughts. Ultimately, what we want to do as a police officer, we got to be able to gain trust.
The third-party review also discusses concerns of leadership, saying, quote, "It was the opinion of some personnel that Chief Pinion did not lead the DPD. But when I asked about those concerns..."
We are the community is us. The police officers, sometimes people forget we are part of the community as well. And so we try to continue to build that relationship.
The review from Green Research and Technology recommends implementing community resource and public information officers, both to help with added communication and public relations.
There's always going to be different opinions on that, but I would believe right now this department is fully supportive.
But Pinion says he wants what others seek as well.
We all want to see Decatur thrive.
During this interview with Chief Pinion, we talked more about some of the concerns from residents, including transparency and accountability. The full interview can be found on Fox 54 Plus.
Tonight we're having a town hall to discuss the reports and findings of the third-party review on the Decatur Police Department.
Like the rest of his organization, Standing in Power co-founder Terrence Adkins has read the third-party review of the Decatur Police Department over and over again. But when the report first came out,
we spent an hour and a half reading it before discussing it with each other.
And during Thursday's town hall, people discussed their concerns, which have risen from the 43-page document.
One of the things that we're going to talk about is the importance of paperwork. We see that in a lot of cases, people didn't go to the police department with their reports. So it's hard to kind of combat those things if we don't document it.
But others, like William Landers, was concerned about transparency within the police department.
I would have liked to seen more specificities like the body cam footage that was reviewed, what districts it came from, how many came from each district, that kind of thing.
During this meeting tonight, people brought up their own concerns, including accountability and communication, but Standing in Power wants to take these suggestions and turn them into solutions.
We want to make sure that we're a community organization that stays in touch with the people. Being a grassroots organization, we have to keep the people involved.
Hearing other perspectives within the community was the driving factor for some people to be in the room.
We really don't hear that much from the community. It's usually city council or city officials. So it's nice to see a community-led event to hear like inside the community, from the community, and not just the community leaders.
If we're asking for transparency and accountability from the police department, we also need that from the organizations that claim to represent us.
Landers added something he wanted to bring up during tonight's meeting was looking at different types of policy changes to help make the community feel safer when they see police. In Decatur, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Nick Perkins, Steve Perkins' brother, announced the formation of an exploratory committee for Decatur's 2025 mayoral race. Nick Perkins has been active in the community even before his brother was shot and killed by a Decatur police officer back in 2023. He's the current program coordinator for Decatur Youth Services, which assists at-risk youth. He released this statement this afternoon saying, quote, "I believe that Decatur is at a crossroads. We have some big tasks in front of us, from rebuilding faith within the community to recruiting new and exciting amenities to the area. The next mayor will play a crucial role in shaping the future for Decatur's residents. I plan to use the coming weeks to prayerfully consider my role in helping my city live up to its potential. In the coming weeks, I look forward to speaking with my family and local leaders to make the right decision."
A train wreck on Friday night saw a Jeep Grand Cherokee collide with a Norfolk Southern locomotive heading west through Decatur. The crash was so violent it sent the car flipping on its side and ejected one of the occupants. But neighbors are concerned about safety at the railroad crossing after what they said was the fourth wreck in a year. Just behind me here in Scottsboro, this railroad crossing here is heavily trafficked. Cars, vans, school buses, and even 18-wheelers come through here on a regular day. But just behind me here, you can't even tell if a train is coming from the other side of the track. In fact, after a train did come through and plowed into a car full of children, many residents nearby are wondering when something will be done about this intersection.
There's done been a bunch of wrecks there. One lady got killed about 3 years ago, drug her, hit her from right there, drug her down to the other end down there, her picture down there. Then back in the summer, and some little girls got hit there, 17, 18 years old got hit.
According to neighbors, the crossing has claimed the lives of up to 5 people in the last couple of years. Despite Kyle Street being a side road in Scottsboro, it has constant daily traffic. In the hour I was out there, I counted just over 50 cars driving over the crossing.
Quite a few cars come through here. This is a busy intersection right there, a busy street. Especially on Sundays, you get a lot of the traffic coming from the churches.
Not only is the street busy, it's so narrow that 2 cars can't squeeze through the crossing at a time. Add in poor visibility or loud music, and you've got a train wreck waiting to happen.
You've almost got to get up on the track, to see the train coming. And a lot of times, you can't hear, and you don't hear the train until it's right up on you, the horn. You don't hear it blowing.
But people living right next door to the track hear it day and night. When another one passes by, neighbor Tommy Prado says they tense up and wait for the sound of it hitting something. This time, it was a lot more than a crash.
We heard somebody screaming that there were kids. When there's kids, you could hear the kids screaming. And, just hearing it is still, because we hear the crash, and you hear the metal, and you hear the cars being drugged. You can hear it being drugged, but to hear kids screaming, we didn't go to sleep last night after this.
People living in the neighborhood are waiting for something to be done. Prado says any kind of safety measure would be better than what's standing now. In Scottsboro, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
The victims of a train versus car crash are now in stable condition. The crash happened Friday night at the North Kyle Street crossing in Scottsboro. Here's a video of that scene. A westbound train hit a Jeep. You can see the tire there as it crossed the tracks, causing it to flip over and eject one person. The driver was identified as 24-year-old Cameron Jones, and 3 other passengers were children. 2 of them have been released and 2 remain in the hospital in stable condition. An explosion in Newmarket that has left 1 man seriously hurt has now turned into a bomb investigation. It's where we start. I'm Kenesha Dees. It happened here on the 1200 block of County Lake Road last night. Our Ken McCoy has more on what investigators know so far.
A 911 call about an explosion prompted the Madison County Sheriff's deputies, HIMSI, and members of the Central Volunteer Fire Department to respond here to a firewood shop on County Lake Road. When they arrived, they found a man severely injured and transported him to Huntsville Hospital, where he is now in critical condition. During the preliminary investigation, the Madison County Sheriff's Office recovered several items identified as bomb parts and bomb-making materials. The investigation remains active and is being conducted jointly with the Alabama State Fire Marshal's Office and the Madison County Sheriff's Office Crime Scene Unit. The Sheriff's Office says there are no further details at this time. In Newmarket, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
We also learned that no other people or homes were affected by the blast. Fox 54 has received reports of water quality issues in Ider. Residents say the water has a strong chemical smell and taste. Our Caleb Aguayo went out to Ider today to talk to the community about their concerns.
Here in Ider, many people are concerned about the quality of the drinking water. They say there's a strange chemical smell coming out of the faucets, the toilets, and the showers. It's so bad, they say, that many have resorted to drinking bottled water instead of out of the tap. And the source? It's all coming from the county's water supply district. Sherilyn Huber lives on the end of the water line. The Jackson-DeKalb Water District has flushed the system out, but the smell is still apparent when the water runs.
The smell has really been noticeable, I guess, in the last 6 weeks.
And it's not just Huber's neighborhood.
On this highway, on 117 and up 75, other people have complained about it. And they don't live in areas where the line ends near their house.
So she and her husband have been keeping jugs and going to buy bottled water for their house. Huber also says she'll use the filter on the refrigerator, but that still doesn't get it all.
We shouldn't have to buy water at the grocery store when we pay such high price coming out of the faucet. And you know, maybe we shouldn't be. Maybe it is completely safe. But we need to be taken serious and back it up with some numbers and documentation.
And this water crisis has the community distrustful of the water district.
That is concerning to me and everybody else. Enough is enough. We need to hear from somebody at the state level of what is going on with our water, what is going on with the management.
But until then, they're worried about the effects it might have. The Jackson-DeKalb Water District declined our request for comment, but they did say they respond to customers' requests individually. In Ider, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Ider's mayor also tells us that some have been hesitant to speak up because the water authority is, quote, retaliatory. It's been just under 2 weeks since a fire engulfed Mary's Pit Barbecue in Gurley. Ever since the neighborhood's favorite barbecue joint was described as a total loss by the owners, the community has given all sorts of love with the hopes to bring back the food spot. A GoFundMe campaign was organized after the fire occurred. They've raised more than $14,000 since, and our Gabe Glassman talked to another local business who's looking to add to the donations.
Ash still lies on the ground and caution tape still surrounds the Mary's Pit Barbecue. And when people found out about the fire, something shifted within the community, including for one owner of Ryland Pike Farmers Market. He says some of his oldest memories happened at Mary's.
Me and my daddy would go fishing to the county lake and we'd stop in and grab a sandwich.
Like many, Kenny Brooks was shocked to see Mary's, which has stood in Gurley since the late 50s, destroyed.
I hated it for the community because this community is close-knit and everybody pulls to help each other, and the fire was just unbelievable.
And Brooks had a personal connection to the owners of the barbecue place.
The owner was a guy I went to school with, Jeff Tony, and that was in the late 60s, early 70s.
The ownership has since shifted to Jeff's daughters, but that doesn't stop the love Kenny had for the local food spot. So much so, his local business, Ryland Pike Farmers Market, is lending out a helping hand.
We're doing a fundraiser for Mary's Pit Barbecue. We're going to take up as much money as we can. We're doing smoked pork tenderloins.
He's hoping this will inspire more local businesses to share love for the local favorites.
We hope we raise a whole lot for them. And then other small businesses will see what we're doing around here, and they'll step up, and a little money here and there totals up to big money.
And Brooks is hoping this fundraiser will ultimately help Mary's bring their pit barbecue back to the community. In Madison County, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Roll call. Aye.
Aye. Jackson.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye. Resolution 25010 is approved. 4-0.
Decatur City Council approving the development agreement between the city and Clearview Cancer Institute. The vote passed the chamber 5-0 with Hunter Pepper not in attendance. The $250,000 is going from the city to CCI to help build the 57,000 square foot facility totaling $30 million. It would sit on 6th Avenue just south of Decatur Shopping Center.
A Huntsville Music Festival now canceled just 2 weeks after it was first announced. The Camellia Music and Arts Festival promised to bring a celebration of music, art, and Southern culture to the Orion this spring, boasting a dynamic lineup of hip-hop and R&B stars, including 5-time Grammy nominee Kalani and Alabama-born and Southern rap icon Gucci Mane, to name a few. But that's no more. Organizers announced the news today, saying, quote, "It's with great disappointment that we must announce Camellia Music and Arts Festival will not take place as planned. While this is not the outcome we had hoped for, we are deeply grateful for the enthusiasm and support from this community." Organizers also shared that refunds are being processed. Those are expected to automatically be processed within 30 business days.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
This educator brings life to her students by taking her by taking her students outside. In fact, the school's greenhouse in some cases is her classroom, and it's why parents and students love her. Meet this week's top teacher, Cassidy Tolles from Morris Elementary School in Huntsville.
We're only halfway right now.
For Cassidy Tolles,
I like it.
Learning
You're gonna cut it out?
isn't limited to the four corners of her classroom.
We do have garden club once a week. We have a group that comes out and helps the students learn about plants and how they're made and the different things that help them grow.
That learning is here at Morris Elementary School's greenhouse. Tolles has been teaching for 7 years. This year at Morris is her first. She just started in August.
I've just always loved working with kids and just like helping them see that they can do great things and grow and just the potential that they have.
She teaches 4th grade, all subjects.
I love it. I feel great. I wake up just excited to come to work every day.
But wants to keep her students hands-on and on their toes.
I like to do a lot of like hands-on games and activities when we're doing centers. I feel like a lot of kids, if they're just sitting writing, they get bored, but I like to build games into it so they can work together.
Her principal, Dr. Tanya Smith, says Tolles' way of teaching is one that inspires.
She hit the ground running with effective instruction. She builds relationships with her students. Her classroom is engaging and inviting, and we are very pleased at the work that she's done here.
Tolles says their love for learning compels her to believe she's making an impact in education.
Just seeing the kids light up when they come to school, it makes me feel like I'm doing a good thing because they're happy to be here. I know a lot of times kids may not love coming to school, but if you show that you love it and you want them to be here, they'll want to come.
That's right. Congratulations, Cassidy. We've got her full interview and the moment she was surprised on Fox 54 Plus. Also, go ahead and nominate a teacher on fox54.com. Alabama lawmakers in Montgomery this evening. Governor Kay Ivey delivered the annual State of the State address ahead of this year's state legislative session. The governor laying out her legislative priorities for the year, emphasizing an importance on public safety, police support, and Alabama education. Ivey touted the state's historic reading and math gains, citing a move in national rankings for both subjects following last week's national report card release. 4th graders from Morgan County's own Danville Neal Elementary were guests of honor here at the address. You can see them smiling, proud. Ivey highlighted how the school has significantly progressed in math scores.
These students made the highest math gains in the state last year, jumping up a whopping 35 percentage points. It is because of the great work of teachers and communities like Danville Neal across this state that Alabama saw the largest jump in math scores in the country last year.
And Huntsville Army veteran Jay Barclay was also a guest of honor at tonight's address. Barclay served in Afghanistan and was honored by the governor for his heroism and bravery. A carton of eggs was at one time an inexpensive addition to the grocery list. Now, many people are struggling to find any left on the shelves as shortages and rising prices are affected by the recent rise in bird flu cases. Arkin McCoy has more with one local store who has avoided the strain for now.
Empty shelves and high prices. That's the reality many local consumers are facing as egg prices have reached an all-time high. Egg prices are estimated to increase about 20% in 2025, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's price outlook. Here locally, Food City is one of the lucky stores who hasn't felt the strain of shortage, primarily due to their choice of supplier.
Candidly, the farms we work with at this point have not been largely affected. So shortage is not a word that we would probably say we've had happen to us yet. Could it happen? Yes, it could, but it has not yet. Some of the national brands, Eggland's Best might be a good example of that. There's an incredible demand for their product, given some of the shortages you spoke of. So we're not able on that particular product, as an example, to get all we'd like to have.
A relief for the stores that are facing the shortages could take a few months.
What we're hearing from a lot of the producers is this is likely to continue to be a problem through probably until we get to much warmer weathers after the migratory season for birds actually ends. Birds going from the south to the north, because much of this has been spread historically by migratory birds.
Food City shares they have been having open dialogue with customers that may have concern, but haven't had many comments on the issue. In Huntsville, Kim McCoy, Fox 54 News.
Because of the shortage, Waffle House is now adding a 50-cent surcharge on eggs. Waffle House officials say they will adjust or remove the surcharge as market conditions allow.
Take out your earbuds and get out that old record player. Vinyls are back in style, and no one is celebrating them quite like AVIQ here in Huntsville. They had a vinyl record trail today, bringing out nearby collectors to help out the local record shops. Our Caleb Aguayo went to the store and tuned in to their newest event.
AVIQ is a hi-fi store here in Huntsville. They sell stereo equipment, home theater systems, and vinyl record players, but they decided to host a vinyl record sale and partnered with other local record shops here in town to get the word out about old school music.
When I was a young man in Huntsville, there were 5 or 6 hi-fi stores. Dealt in stereo equipment. Now we also do home theaters, we do networking, we do a number of things. But the ability to be able to come to some place and listen to quality equipment has not existed in this town, nor in most towns.
Co-owner Chip Bowen says records are back in style, and he's excited to bring back a new era of playing them. He says you don't get the same feel out of playing the music from your phone.
I'm really excited about vinyl coming back, and this has been an idea for years, and with DHI's help and the city's help, Huntsville's becoming a music destination. So we wanted to provide a space where all these guys could get together, all the record collectors could come in, kind of kick this off.
And AVIQ partnered with Downtown Huntsville Incorporated to spotlight the event. Carla Palacios with the organization says they planned it all to show off the music scene in the Tennessee Valley.
It was different, it was unique, just like we want to be. We have such a great musical history in Huntsville. And I don't think, and I'm sure the community doesn't even know how rich in history we are in the music scene.
She says this event highlights that local music scene, bringing everyone out to rediscover the record collecting community for themselves.
It allows us to cultivate different industries, businesses in our downtown area, or our downtown footprint, and allows people to kind of a guided tour of different and unique places that maybe they wouldn't go, and kind of put them all together in one trail.
That sale alone saw about 200 visitors, but the other participating stores sell records all year long. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Bowen says they'll be doing more events like this in the near future. And to stay updated, you can find a link on their Facebook page on our website, fox54.com.
Just a month away from the 2025 Special Olympics World Winter Games taking place in Turin, Italy. Team USA has 160 members from 42 states representing the Stars and Stripes, with figure skaters representing North Alabama. I went over to Huntsville's Iceplex earlier today and got to meet the talented team of figure skaters.
I'm trying to go to Italy.
These athletes from Alabama will be hitting the ice in Turin, Italy, competing in the 2025 Special Olympics Winter World Games. They're 3 of 8 athletes representing the USA in figure skating.
Each of the states have an opportunity during a lottery system to nominate their skaters that are eligible to participate.
And Heidi Parker will be joining them as an assistant coach. It's her first time as a member of the staff.
I was overjoyed that I get to go and actually firsthand see my athletes perform on the world stage.
Beth, Cody, and Deeb are now putting the final touches on their hopeful gold medal routines.
That's our first time going.
I'm learning new stuff, learning my new program.
My dad says that I don't fully understand about it yet. He said once I go there, it's going to be really big.
Anything to do with competing locally and nationally, and nationally, just give it my all.
And their coach says they've all been putting in extra work with the competition looming.
Beth has taken up with a personal trainer and gone the extra mile. It's shown on the ice with her practices and her routines. Deep has taken extra lessons and been able to perfect his program to the best of his ability. Cody is kind of the newbie on the block. He hasn't skated as long as Beth or Deep, but he is putting everything he has into his practices when he's here.
Now just over a month away from when skates meet the Italian ice.
I think they're absolutely ready to take on Italy. They have put in the work and they are dedicated.
The Winter World Games kick off on March 8th. More than 1,500 athletes from over 100 delegations will compete in 8 different sports.
Well, Alabama A&M head coach Sam Shade will throw on the headset for another team just for a week. The new top dog on the hill was named as one of the coaches for the HBCU Legacy Bowl. It's an all-star game for the top 100 draft-eligible players from HBCUs. Shade is paired up with new SWAC foe TC Taylor of Jackson State as his co-head coach. Shade said it's an honor to be named to the game and is actually looking forward to teaming up with a soon-to-be rival.
So that game that's a big all-star game because it's put on, it's first class with us winning the SIAC championship game. That's why I was able to earn a spot on that staff along with TC Taylor. Excited about working with him. As coaches, it's a fraternity. And so when you're not playing each other, you kind of get to know guys and, spend some time around them. And so I'm looking forward to it.
A week of practice precedes the HBCU Legacy Bowl game, which will kick off from Tulane on Saturday, February 22nd. It can be seen live on the NFL Network. 23 players in the game come from the SWAC, including Alabama A&M wide receiver and Athens native Keenan Hambrick.
Hey everyone, a little over a month ago, Bulldog Nation was introduced to Sam Shade, the new football coach on the Hill. Since then, Coach Shade has been putting together a staff while recruiting some dogs for the chase. Today, we learned about the new guys he's bringing to the Hill to compete for a SWAC title. The 2025 recruiting class for Alabama A&M includes 31 new players. 17 of them are already on campus at mid-year transfers, while 14 others will be here by late May. Shade and the staff focus on filling gaps on the defense along with the offensive line. Overall, he's impressed with the crew so far.
Well, we felt like we met some of our needs, especially some of our immediate needs as far as experience and guys that have played with the mid-year guys, the transfers that we brought in. And also we had one early enrollee, a high school kid that came in. So excited about that. And then just closing it off today with the 14 signees that will be joining us in the summer. Just really excited about it. And now we're starting to get back to work for our spring practice.
All right, just up the road from Huntsville in Harvest, we saw 7 Sparkman Senator seniors sign national letters of intent to 6 different schools. One of those senators staying close to home to play for Sam Shade. His defensive standout, Jaden Chambers, is excited to join the Bulldog family, especially with Coach Shade running things now on the Hill.
It feels good. I'm proud to be a Bulldog. Coach Shade, he came from Alabama, so winning has always been his thing. And from what he's done with his players, winning his conference championship and him coming to Alabama A&M from my hometown, so I'm just ready to play for him. I really want to practice. I'm just ready to go to work. I just want to thank Coach Shade for giving me this opportunity to present his football team. Hopefully for the next 4 years, I'll be a Bulldog and I'll be on the field playing.
All right, the Tennessee Valley was once again a hotbed for talent. Today we had over a dozen student athletes sign national letters of intent. There were 5 guys over at Brooks. There were 10 guys at James Clemens and even 4 more at Athens High School. See all of our signing day coverage from this spring on Sunday night on Sports Extra after Super Bowl 59.
That was the Marching Maroon and White, one of their past performances. But tomorrow, they'll be at SoFi Stadium in LA to battle it out with other HBCU bands across the country for Honda's Battle of the Bands. And we've got a sneak peek at how they prepare before they perform. Check it out.
I am so excited.
The members of the Marching Maroon and White band taking their talents from coast to coast.
A lot of us haven't even flown before, so we get to fly for the first time to LAX.
The band performing at SoFi Stadium for Honda's Battle of the Bands a week before their performance. Band members like Nathaniel Glenn packed up and shipped off their equipment.
Yes, gotta use the muscle today. We are loading up everything that you see behind me, all these instruments as well.
About 240 instruments to be packed up and shipped out to LA. Operations manager Gary Guilford tells us how it's done.
It's a full-fledged operating machine, you know, whenever you talk about logistics and operations, because at the end of the day, we've got parents that are relying on us as staff members to make sure that their children are safe.
Assistant Director of Bands Charles Connor says making it to LA is a way to represent.
There's definitely, you know, a market for our band programs to not only perform but also to recruit over there, you know, for their students to get I would say some Southern flavor, you know, that we have over here that's not necessarily on the West Coast.
Director of Bands Carlton Wright says this opportunity is bigger than the band.
The university is going to be 150 years old, well, 150 years this year. And we promote the university above the band, because if it weren't for the university, we wouldn't be here.
Wright's Associate Director of Bands, Mario Warren, has a saying when they get out on the field to perform.
Kind of thing I say, don't be slow. That's a Memphis thing. I'm from Memphis, so I like to say that. And just we like to try to, as best as we can, create a band family. There's a lot of organizations and things that make band factories. Bring the students in, they stay for a semester. We like to try to cultivate and do things in a way where we are a band family.
We want them to be able to transfer what they're learning here to their jobs and be successful there. If you're successful here, you'll be successful there. Our motto is start here, go anywhere.
And wishing them so much success. The show starts at 3 p.m. Central. Our sneak peek doesn't stop here. We have a walk and talk with two other band members, a duo who has been friends to the very end because they are seniors soon to graduate. Check it out along with another bonus interview on Fox 54 Plus. From coast to coast, the Marching Maroon and White are representing, and we'll get a chance to hear from the Albertville Aggies in our special edition of the Post-Super Bowl Sunday show. And as a new week marches on, that puts an end note on this edition of the Week in Review. Keep in mind there's so much more to 54 with original series like this one, extended interviews and exclusive content on the free Fox 54 Plus app. If you're not watching us there already, it's available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices. And don't forget to tell your friends about us. For all of us at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. Have a great weekend.